NCR Corporation is a leader in omnichannel solutions, turning everyday interactions with businesses into exceptional experiences. With its software, hardware, and portfolio of services, NCR enables nearly 700 million transactions daily across financial, retail, hospitality, travel, telecom, and technology industries. NCR solutions run the everyday transactions that make your life easier. NCR is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, with about 30,000 employees and does business in 180 countries.
I want to tell you, I am a girl geek, and I'm proud to be one. I started years and years ago with a degree in data processing and quantitative analysis. That was my degree. I got a job at Mastercard after some period, and I started as a computer programmer. And I have done a whole bunch of things at Mastercard, which I'll talk to, but I want to tell you a little bit about Mastercard, what we do, how we leverage technology, and then I want to tell you a little bit about my career, and I want to share with you a few things that I think are really important to be successful in your careers. So, first, let's talk a little bit about Mastercard. I have a little video.
At any given moment, in more than 210 countries and territories, and 150 currencies, we are connecting people, businesses, and governments in today's digital world. As a technology company, we're designing innovative, secure, easy ways to pay 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From the comfort of your home or on the go. Our network processes 56 billion transactions a year, each one in the blink of an eye. We're making cities smarter. We're providing insights and expertise that help businesses sell goods across town or across borders. Making payments more secure. Bringing people into the financial mainstream. And helping governments around the world disperse payments. With 2.3 billion Mastercard and Maestro accounts, we're providing innovative and compelling ways to pay that are driving commerce globally. And we're making connections every moment. Because at the end of the day, we're all about connecting people to priceless possibilities. That's us. That's Mastercard.
So Mastercard is an amazing and awesome place to work. It's so exciting to be a technologist and an engineer at Mastercard. Let me tell you about the network. My job is running the global network for Mastercard. Every time somebody tries to buy something using a Mastercard payment product, it goes through our network that I'm responsible for. We've spent decades wiring the planet. Our technology, we have computers all over the planet in 210 countries and territories. We've spent decades strategically placing these computers so with people, with entities, with companies that are engaged in commerce. So we, in essence, have our own private cloud across the world for payments. 210 countries and territories. We're dealing with hundreds of currencies. We're dealing with billions of transactions. We move billions of dollars every day flawlessly. This is our job. We know this is important to do. So how does it work? Let's break it down a little bit of how this works. So we've got all these computers stashed away, thousands and thousands of computers all over the planet. And you will all know that when you have a card, the legacy way people have conducted commerce is your bank, if you have a bank account with a savings account or a checking account, you may get a debit card that gives you access to your money. You may also get a loan via a credit card, a line of credit from your bank. And they'll give you a card to have access to that. Or it could be a prepaid card for which you purchased ahead of time that has a certain value that now this card will allow you to access. Credentials are stored on these cards. This magnetic stripe or the chip, now there's chip in the United States, in the cards. This is the holder of what we call your payment credentials. Your account number is stored on this piece of plastic. You go to a merchant, a retailer, let's say the Apple Store. You want to buy which I just did yesterday, a charger for your Apple Watch or whatever it is you're buying. That store has what we call a point of sale device, a POS device. So when you buy your Apple Watch charger, you present your card to the guy at the Apple store. They have a POS device, which nowadays at Apple, it's a phone, can take the credentials, and that transaction goes into the Mastercard network. So all these computers that we've stashed away in locations are connecting these merchants with these consumers, and it's all dialing into our network, the transactions flowing into our network. We take that transaction and we process it. We understand where does this transaction need to go to get approval, decisioning. We send the transaction to the proper bank. Maybe it's Citibank, maybe it's Chase, maybe it's Bank of America, whichever bank it is, to make the decision about the transactions. Does this person have enough money in the account? Do they have enough line of credit? Can they make that sale? We return the answer, all in about 130 milliseconds, which is 3 times faster than the blink of an eye. Then we present the information at the end of the day to get to your statement, and we take the money from your bank, who is paying on your behalf and getting paid by you later, and then we pay the merchant, Apple Store in this case. All that is happening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Trillions of dollars are moving through that network. That is an awesome, awesome network. Now, things have advanced. Technology has advanced beyond the physical piece of plastic. Now, there's so many different vehicles that can hold those credentials, your payment credentials, phones. You can now, has anybody heard of Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or Google Pay or all these pays that are coming about? This is where your information that is stored in your card can also be stored on your phone. You can also store it on your watch. You can store it on a ring. You can store it on a purse. We even have dresses that have your payment credentials embedded into the dress. This is all contactless technology. RFID, radio frequency identifier, is the actual, there's a little antenna. These are all technology advances that are also plugged in to this massive worldwide payments network that Mastercard has perfected over decades. These are exciting times for us as these technologies are advancing. We're working on some really cool things. Imagine with these RFID tags, every item at a store, let's say a grocery store, can be tagged with the information. And can you imagine a day when you're just walking out of the grocery store without going through a checkout lane because all the items in your cart are already tagged? You walk out the door, it picks up your payment credentials, you get charged the amount for your purchase, and you just walk to your car. Another thing we're working on, which I think is super cool, online magazines. Have you seen online magazines? Imagine shopping, looking at the online magazine, seeing a pair of shoes, I like shoes, seeing a pair of shoes in the magazine, and clicking on it and putting it in your cart, right there from the magazine. All these technology advances are occurring. You've seen connected refrigerators, connected cars. We have contactless technology and MasterPass connected in your car. You've seen going through toll gates where you don't have to stop the car. That's all contactless technology. Now we're embedding it with car manufacturers in the car itself to pay for your gas, to order food at a restaurant that's coming up in another few miles, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many amazing things that can happen with the technology that we have and the advances that are occurring. When you're in a STEM career, it gets really exciting. But there's also a lot of bad guys in this world. Security is incredibly important in the payments industry, and it also leverages really advanced state-of-the-art technology. And I'm also sad to tell you that the criminals also have technology. The criminals There's a lot of nation-state actors, as we call them, that are organized, that are leveraging technology, that are working to capture your information. Mastercard has to be smarter than the criminals. We are leveraging technology. We're using artificial intelligence. We're using automation. We're using bots, neural network technology, fuzzy logic. We have a massive amount of data, as you can imagine, that comes from the massive amount of payment transactions that ride our payment rails. We use that data, we crunch that data, we use technology and automation to fight against the bad guys. So we have a huge focus on leveraging our technology and our capability for fighting crime. So our bots are fighting their bots using our artificial intelligence, and we're constantly making investments in that field. We also are doing things these days which are very exciting, using smart people of this world like yourself. We recognize we have a ton of data. We recognize we have a lot of capability with this payments network. We also recognize we're not the only ones that have great ideas. So we have leveraged an API strategy, application programmer interface, where we have said we want to open up some of our data, we want to open up some of our technology capability to the great minds of the world. For example, Mastercard knows the location of every ATM on the planet because we see transactions from every ATM on the planet. We have taken that information, that database of all the ATM locations, and made it available to the public. And smart minds of the world have created mobile apps to access that information and to provide more value to the consuming public of being able to find an ATM near you, marrying GPS technology with locations of ATMs, by example. We have a massive amount of other information that we also make available to the public, and we encourage smart minds to think about how can they leverage that data and do good in the world and advance the use of technology. So it's very exciting. I also want to tell you about another focus that Mastercard has, where we take our technology and apply it in a good way for the world. We have a saying called doing well by doing good. So financial inclusion is a big focus of our company. What does financial inclusion mean? There are, I think, 7 billion people on the planet, 6 or 7 billion people on the planet. Only a little more than 1 billion people have a bank account, which means only about 1 billion people have access to financial instruments to improve their life. So meet this lady in the picture. She's a farmer, wants to start a farm in Africa, but she doesn't have access to any financial instruments, so she has to deal in cash. And she can't get any extra cash other than what she already has on her own. So you can imagine her life becomes, first I have to buy the seeds with the amount of money that I have. Then I have to plant my crop. I have to wait for the season, throughout the season, harvest my crop, sell what I can, make a little bit of money, use that cash to go buy more seeds the next year. Her life doesn't allow her, without access to a loan, to financial instruments, to a microloan, she doesn't have the ability to get ahead in life. Mastercard has a huge focus on financial inclusion. We want to be able to bring financial development to the lives of people who don't have it. That will improve their life. If this woman could get a loan and get some equipment, some farm equipment, she would be able to produce a bigger crop and then be able to have additional money to maybe start her own business one day. So this is the focus that we have. 85% of the world's spending remains on cash and check, and 6 billion or so people on the planet don't have access to what we in the United States enjoy of being able to get loans and have bank accounts and have access to that kind of money by a microloan, even getting some sort of an advance. So this is what Mastercard is wanting to do, leverage our technology. We work a lot with governments who are providing social benefits to people, and today there are a lot of people that are stealing some of that financial benefit for people, and it's not getting to the destination that it should, because cash can be dangerous. People get robbed when they have big piles of money. They have to walk long distances to get access to their funds. So Mastercard's working with governments, with NGOs, non-governmental organizations, to help invest in the financial development of the world using technology. And it's a really rewarding kind of work for us to be able to improve the lives of others. So doing well by doing good, using our technology capabilities and the assets that we have as a company is really good for society. So that is a little bit about Mastercard. It's an amazing place. It has amazing technology. We are a technology company that happens to be in the payments business. And doing well by doing good and focusing on financial inclusion and keeping that network alive every day. And it's an awesome place to be, leveraging all these advances in technology. I have a really big job there. Really, really big job. Sometimes it's a daunting job to make sure all these payments are happening in every country in the world every single day in a mass market way. And I want to share with you a little bit of my journey and a few things that I think have been really important in my life to advance my career and to have a successful career. One of the things that well, first of all, I guess I would tell you that I started as a programmer. I had that degree in data processing and quantitative analysis, and I started at Mastercard as a computer programmer. I had the T in STEM. That was my STEM interest. And I worked about the first 10 years or so in the company as a computer programmer. I advanced, I worked on a lot of different things, I moved around, and I really got a great familiarity with a lot of the different things that we did. I then shifted. They asked me to do different kinds of jobs. I started taking on all different kinds of roles. They asked me to be the finance officer. I thought to myself, I'm a programmer. Why are they asking me to be the finance person? But I took on that finance role, and I learned it, and I'll speak a little bit about this, but I took on a finance role. That was a different step for me and a different career change. It wasn't something that I went to school for, but something that I learned how to do. Then I became the architect. I became the information security person. I became the process improvement person. I became in a consulting capacity. I worked on our consulting division. I became the product person. I worked in strategy. I worked in all these different roles, and then I came back to technology to run the most important asset that we have as a company, as a woman, which is super nice to be able to say. So what do I think attributed to the path that I had and the success? And what can I pay it forward and give you as counsel and things to think about as you go through your career, as you stay in STEM? You've already got a great basis to start with because you're interested in STEM. I hope you're here because you're interested in STEM. Stay interested in STEM because it will open every door in life to you, especially the girls. Number one, be curious. First of all, I'd like to point out that this is my son. Isn't he handsome? He looked very studious in this particular shot. So I found that I was a very curious person as I was starting my career as a computer programmer. And I think it has been proven that learning and an insatiable appetite for learning is a key characteristic of success. So please be curious in life. I asked questions. Why are you asking me to write this computer program? What is it going to do? What is its purpose in life? Who are we selling it to? Why is this better than the competition? Will the user experience be good? Will they be able to use it? What are we doing to make sure it's easy? I asked why, probably tirelessly, and people got tired of it, of listening to me. But what it gave me was the ability to really understand what we were doing and why we were doing it. And then I came up with ideas. I had thoughts of things that we should be doing to make it better. So be curious in life. Ask questions. Have an insatiable appetite for learning. Study, research, look online, understand what's going on in your industry and your business and in your job. Don't simply think of yourself as the trade person, the engineer, the technologist, the mathematician, the scientist. Think about why you're doing it and be curious about the context and the industry setting and the business of why you're doing it. That will help you in your quest for success. Have courage and be confident. This picture, just for a moment, is my son's friend when they told me that they were going to go hiking through the Dolomites in Italy. I didn't see these kinds of pictures before I said yes, they could go. But that looks like, I'm like, where is the path, honey? Where's the trail? Looks a little daunting to me. You need to have courage and be confident about yourself. I remember when they first asked me to be the finance person, and I thought to myself, that was kind of scary. I knew how to be a computer programmer. I went to school to be a computer programmer. I felt comfortable in that setting, and there was a lot to learn in that setting, and I was happy doing that. And then they said, why don't you come over here and run the whole finance organization for our technology world? That was scary. That was not something I knew how to do. But I always knew I could learn. I always knew I could do it. I had confidence that I was able. And I gift to you that same confidence. Be confident in your abilities. You can do anything you want to do. You just be curious about it and study and ask and take chances. So the changes that I went through in my career of stepping away from the discipline that I had and doing a lot of different things that I felt like I never really knew how to do helped me in my career. I think it was a huge contributor to having success in your career. So please take those chances. Please do things that you don't think you were necessarily trained to do, and have confidence in your capability. I learned that from my mother and father. They just told me I could always do anything that I wanted to do, and it was true. And so I hope I'm gifting that on to my children, and I would like to gift that on to you as well as a characteristic of something that you should always do. Find your passion. This is actually a picture of the starting line of a race that I was in. I've decided that I have a passion for running, and so I've been doing a lot of half marathons in my time. So this is what this picture is of. But one thing about passion, I think you really have to find a job. You have to find a career, find an opportunity that you love. I have learned in life there are two kinds of people. There are people that love what they do, and they have a passion for that, and they can generate enthusiasm and be a self-starter because they're really excited about what they do. And there are those people that don't. And those people that don't, they can get really excited about somebody else's passion. I say they draft off of other people's passion, but they don't generate it themselves. Always be the one that has found what you love and that you can self-generate that passion. So I got a real passion for Mastercard's network, was curious, was confident that we could do different things, and kind of kept pushing and pushing and pushing. What else? What else? What else can we do? And that, I think, has helped Mastercard as a company, along with other people. And I think it helped me in my career. Last piece of advice, and this came directly from my mother. Work hard. Work hard at what you do. My mother, just to give you a story about her, my mother grew up very poor. She was the first person in her family to go to college. She became a nurse. And she never wanted to be poor again. But she became a nurse, worked as a nurse for quite some time, but she decided that wasn't enough. And she went back to school, and she became one of the first nurse practitioners, which really are people that work as a doctor. And she had to work hard. She saw a patient every 15 minutes. That was her quota. And that made for hard days and long days. And she taught me, Dana, when you're working, when you have your job, when you have your career, give your company what you have to give it. You're there for the purpose of the company, to advance the company, to do well by the company. Work hard. And I think that is something that you must do in life. And I think if you are curious, and if you have courage and confidence, and if you find something that you really love, and you work hard at it, you're going to be incredibly successful. And I think if you find a place, like I have found with Mastercard, using my STEM curriculum, my STEM education, my STEM experience, you too can create an amazing future. And you can do a job like running the Mastercard Worldwide Network or better in your careers. And I'm so excited to see what you all will do with all the education and the interests that you have. So that's my spiel. Thank you very much.